been an interesting adventure, and it's been a daunting task for our staff to put it all together. And I think we've done a very good job in what we feel finding the best players to represent our country. And this cycle has been probably the hardest one to make the final decisions, to get to that top 20 players. Congratulations, it's just a start, but it's something that you can be very proud of, and I hope you will be, because it's special still to represent your country. Let's be real honest. We have always a pretty good idea, I think, since our last camp in Fort Lauderdale, we were able to bring in all of our top, what we consider to be 26 players. And not only looked at what would be our top 20, but also within that camp, also starting to look at our starting 11. Eventually, the starting 11 will surface. When I hand out bibs, you're not stupid. I know that. I've been a player as well. And there will be some disappointments. Deal with those as well in a respectful and a professional manner. I make the decisions. We make those decisions. Hard decisions again, which is good. There's competition. And if you are deemed a reserve, you're very much part of this group. It's 1 through 20, guys, not 1 through 11. We feel very, very good about anybody that will come off the bench. I think our biggest problem this time around is how do we manage 12 through 20? Because we can make a case for the reserve, so to speak, as much as we can make a case for the starting 11.
Well, you know, it's a good problem, but I think that we have a lot of options, and that's been a very difficult thing with this roster, both mainly because most of the players this time are professional, and I think that is something that wasn't true of the last cycle. So you have a lot of players that are starting for their clubs or getting significant time, so I think you have guys that are competing for positions, so the roster's kind of geared to who's in the best form.
That's it, get around the men, get around the men. That's it! Change!
With 20 capable players here. Narrowing it down to 20 was hard already. Narrowing it down to a starting 11 is going to be even harder. And you all deserve to be on the field, but only 11 can play. We formulated in our own minds, believe me, as a coaching staff, on paper, what is our best 11? But I think that could change for 1 or 2 players. Not for 11 players, but for 1 or 2. And there's some interesting battles going on. Understanding your role is very important, you know, and be disappointed if you don't start, but be still a good teammate. And I think that this group has a very keen sense of that we can do something special.
Thomas always tells the guys, you know, don't be a happy sitter, but at the same time respect the decision and respect the player in front of you.
Thomas does really a great job, honestly, of incorporating those guys in different ways and making them feel involved. And they're all going to get significant time. I think this is the kind of tournament where you can't survive on 11 players. They're all going to play, and you might see different starting lineups for different opponents.
This is probably the most balanced team I've ever coached without a superstar.
Well, I think this group is in between the 07 team and the 09 team in the fact that it's filled with more professionals than the 09 team, not as many as the 07 team, but it's a very mature group. It's a group that's been through international play. It's a group that has experiences at the professional level, which will translate well to this type of intensity and temperament.
When you look at Sebastian Leggett, who's playing at West Ham, or Bobby Wood, who's playing in Germany, we just seem to have a lot more players who are seasoned pros, so they're not just guys playing, but they're guys with experience who are maybe more used to this environment and the pressure of it. So I think that's really going to help us, especially from an attacking standpoint, really going to help us be successful.
I think this team has gelled quickly in a limited amount of time together, much like the 07 team did. I think the core group of guys have been together with this group since probably started a year and a half ago. So they have a nice head start as far as the core group and some continuity. And we've added some pieces to that, but they've been supplemental pieces that have only added to the team and made the core group better.
You know, whenever we hit our first game in qualifying, I think that we expect the best from any team. And when you look at Suriname, it's going to be no different. That you know that they had to do a lot to get here, unlike some of the teams like us that are maybe a standard and bypass some of those early qualifying rounds. They've had a lot more games together. So you have to expect them to be kind of used to each other and have some coordination that we usually take a few games to get.
Suriname might be very athletic. So the way we need to maybe counteract that is by being technically and tactically sound. And outside of that, as we go back to competing and being great, we got to still outcompete our, I don't care who we play, we always have to outcompete our opponent.
Well, we prepare for Suriname in a certain type of way, and that way is going to be, we expect a lot of combination play. We expect them to be athletic. So for the goalkeepers, I have to make sure that their footwork through the goal is quick and neat and tidy, because Suriname's going to be a team who, through their athletic ability and technical ability, will have some combination play. So our goalkeepers need to get to their angles quickly. They need to be alert for through balls. They need to make sure that they organize the defenders to stay with Suriname when their players interchange, and we expect Suriname to interchange quite a bit.
Part of the fun is going through it. We're confident in our players, and I think that it's not something that you want to make too overwhelming, and so we really concentrate on making them realize that the most important task is that they play to the best of their abilities, just like they would in any game.